All right, so officially welcome to our Scholarship Assembly. I'm Ruth Kerrigan, I'm Director of School Counseling, and I'll be part of the program tonight. We also have Megan Rivera from our School Counseling Office. She's our Administrative Assistant, and she really runs the scholarship program for local and community scholarships. Mr. Murphy, Josh Murphy, is on as well, one of the school counselors. And also Mike Ganchert, who is a very important member of our community and is in charge of the Dollars for Scholars program. So what I'm going to do first of all is pass things over to Mike Ganchert to talk about Dollars for Scholars. And Mr. Murphy or Ms. Rivera may need to unmute Mr. Ganchert.
Did it unmute?
Okay, Mr. Ganchert, can you hear us?
Gotcha. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I was going to go over the qualifications for someone applying to Dollars for Scholars, some of our important dates, which you can see up there, review a little bit of the profile or application, and then finally go over what we score your application on. If you're applying for Dollars for Scholars, a scholarship, you need to have a 2.5 grade point average. You need to live in Whitman or Hanson or attend Whitman-Hanson Regional High School, and you need to be graduating high school senior. As far as the important dates that are involved, our scholarship application opened on February 1st, and as you can see, the deadline to apply is midnight on March 15th, 2023. It is midnight because it's an online application, so you can still do it up to 11:59. I do want to caution you, if you go onto our website on March 16th, you will still see the same application. You'll still be able to fill out your profile, but you won't be able to submit it to us. It's up there year-round because there are some national scholarships that use our application as well, and that allows students to apply for national scholarships through our website. Other important dates you should know, March 22nd, that's a week after the applications are due, when school counselors are required to have the transcripts in. Awards night is May 31st. A week before that, we will mail out letters to recipients so they know enough to attend the award ceremony. 2 weeks after that, recipients accept their scholarships, and then in November and through February, they can claim their scholarships, assuming they got a scholarship. As far as our application go, it is an online application. If you'd like to go to our application, you look at the website down there, www.whitmanandhanson.dollarsforscholars.org. And then you will see on the top of the first page, you'll see a tab that says Students, Parents.
Okay, Mr. Ganchert, I'm going to stop you for a moment. I'm going to stop the share and go to your website. Okay.
Yep, sure.
All right. So let me share again. Let's see. Oops, sorry. That's. I apologize. I did have the website up earlier so that I would be able to get to it. Well, all right, here we go. Okay, can we see the Scholarship America now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, great.
At the page before this, there's a tab that says Students and Parents. You click on that tab and that will bring you to this page here. This is, if you have an account already, what you'll do is you will enter your email address and you'll enter your password, and that will allow you to get into the profile to fill it out. If you don't, you create an account by answering a set of questions. You'll be sent a temporary password. Then you can go to the website, change your password to a permanent password, and then you'll be able to log on to and complete your profile.
Okay.
We ask you to use a non-school email address so that we may contact you after you leave Whitman-Hanson. Some of you may have trouble claiming your scholarships, and that way we'll be able to communicate with you to remind you it's time to claim your scholarship. So at this point, Ruth, if you could log in.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, because if I log in right now, everyone will see your login information. Is that okay, or do you
It's
want?
fine. It's a test login. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right, so let me just, I had it up before, but it must have expired, so
That's
let me
okay.
just find it quickly.
Sure.
Oh, good. Actually, it was
Tester.ganshert
okay, one
at
second.
Gmail.
Okay, tester.
.ganshert, my last name,
Mm-hmm.
at gmail.com.
Okay.
And the password,
Mm-hmm.
capital M,
Mm-hmm.
A, J, A, P, A, G, A, the number 1, and then the ampersand.
Okay, let me log in. Okay, I'm in, and let me just share my screen again.
Again, this is just an overview of the application. We're not going to go step by step through everything, but just so you have an idea of what it looks like and what you're going to be asked to do. We did not design this online application. It's designed by Scholarship of America. So it tends to be lengthy, and they tend to ask questions that you might say, why are they asking that question? It's because this is used for national scholarship as well.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Mike.
That's okay. Yes, I see it there.
You see it there. Okay. All right. So,
You're looking at the application that, or the profile that I did probably a little less than a week ago. So if you see, it says my profile is complete, you wouldn't ordinarily see that. Can you click on work on profile?
sure.
And then we'll stop there for a bit.
Okay.
So at this point, what you'll see on the left-hand side, it's called your dashboard. Those are the subjects that have to get filled in order to apply for Dollars for Scholars Award. It sounds like a lengthy application. It is, but there are some segments here that you actually don't have to do. For example, we don't require references, so you don't have to fill in that. We don't require financial information. You don't have to do that. Documents, we suggest that you don't include documents. And obviously help, you don't need to fill in that. So I just want to touch on a couple of these. We're not going to go through all of them, but you don't have to click on any of them, Ruth. But
Okay.
great. These are questions that people have asked over the years or had questions with over the years. Before I do that, I just want to mention, you see how they're all green on the left, color is green. When you start your application, they will all be red. It's a color-coded system. Once you go into one of the segments and begin work, it will turn to yellow. And then when you have completed enough of that segment, it will turn to green, which is what you see here. All of my segments have been completed. I want to mention average. When you go into your grade point average, it will ask you for your 9th grade grades, your 10th, your 11th, your 12th, and your total high school cum grades. If you look at the application, it only really requires your cumulative high school GPA. That's all we're asking for you to do. So you don't have to fill in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, because no one's going to look at that. We're only going to look at your total cumulative high school grade point average. The class rank. Whitman-Hanson does not have class rank. You still have to go in class rank, and there'll be a box that you check, and it will say, my school does not use class rank. And that will turn it from red to green. Your test scores. That's a spot where you can include your test scores for SATs, ACTs, or APs. And in the last couple of years, less and less students have been taking the SATs. So I would let you know, if you did not take any, if you have no test scores to report, you click on the box that says no test scores to report. You do not lose out on the points for that, though. The awards committee that we use will take your grade point average. They'll use some kind of a scale, and they will assign points based upon your grade point average for those test scores. Your activities. We ask that you not include a activities resume but instead complete the portion of the profile that's asked of you. You should be doing any activities, sports or clubs or organizations that you've done in your 4 years in high school. It includes activities outside of high school. So if you were involved in 4-H or CYO or something, a team sport, a town sport, you would include that as one of your activities. Awards, employment, documents. Documents, we ask that you not attach any documents. You do have the ability to attach documents, but it makes more work for the awards committee to try to locate whether or not you have a document attached. Whereas if it's in the body of the profile, it's easier for them to find. Your parent and guardian information, you do not have to give your consent to apply for this application unless you're under the age of 16. So that should be nobody here. We do ask if you could include your parents' information, email information, so that if we're not able to get in contact with you, we can contact the guardian or parent. Financial aid, when you click on that, it will say no financial info is needed. Your goals essay, there is no minimum or maximum amount of words for your goals essay. Just try to answer the question that they ask. A lot of people will just use a common essay that they've used in other applications, which is fine if it answers the question that they ask. Your unusual circumstances essay, that will be for anything that has happened to you in your 4 years during high school, which may have affected your grades or your activities or your employment. It's optional. You do not have to answer that if you don't have any, but you do need to go in there and say, I have no unusual circumstances. I would ask if you have any financial need, because we don't ask for financial need, you can include that as an unusual circumstance if there's something specific that you want to list. That way, some of our scholarships which some of our donors which want us to have a financial component to it, we can use that essay for that purpose. Your transcripts, you need to request your transcript from your school counselor. Once you've requested them from the school counselor, you continue on to the rest of the application. Don't stop the application and think you're going to wait until the school counselor gets back to you. They have an extra week to get the grades into us. So you continue on with the application. I would ask you to be careful on your spelling, because a lot of times people spell Courtney Seelig wrong. They put .com after Whitman Hanson, and we don't realize it until we haven't got your transcripts till the day before, and then we have to fix it at that point.
Yeah. And I would just ask too that you, there's a slide on this coming up, but that you use the format of the email of the counselor's first name dot last name at WHRSD.org. So it would be, for Mr. Murphy, Joshua.Murphy at WHRSD.org. And we'll have a slide on that, but it's important because if you don't use those emails, or if you put the last name first instead of the first name, we won't get the emails. We won't be able to, it'll be very difficult for us to find you in the system to upload everything we need. So again, please use first name dot last name at WHRSD.org for your school counselors.
If you want to add one more point on that, you will be getting emails from Scholarship America saying, we have not received your transcript from your counselor. At that point, if you'd like to go back into your profile, you can go into transcripts and send a reminder notification to your counselor in case they have forgotten to do your transcripts. References is the next to last one, and with references, we do not require any references. So at that point, you would, if everything is green, like my tabs are all green, you'd be all ready to actually finish the application. And that tends to be the part that trips people up the most. Most people will look at the green, they'll look at the top and it says 100% complete, and they'll say, oh, I'm all done. But they're not really done. All they've done is filled out the application. They haven't submitted it to us. So if you go back down where you were, Ruth, sorry, you're going to click on My Scholarships at this point.
Oops.
My Scholarships, it's right under Help, the green tabs.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Click there.
Yep. And this is the section that you'll see where it says scholarship applications ready to complete. You'll see only one scholarship application ready to complete. It's Whitman and Hanson Dollars for Scholars Awards 2023, which closes on 3/15. And there's 4 round radio bubbles there. It says view, which you can see. It says questions, which you can see. Grayed out right now is references and apply. What you're going to do is you're going to click on questions because that's the one that it's leading you towards. If you click on that, it's going to ask you just 3 yes or no questions. So Ruth, if you just want to hit no, no, no.
Sure. Oops.
I don't know if it takes anything, but it probably does. No.
Not sure what I just did, but no. Okay.
And then scroll down to submit. I know you've got that extra stuff there. And the submit button is hidden behind the globally. Yeah, there you go. Scroll, submit right down at the bottom right. I can see it under Josh.
Okay. Well, I can't see it. So let me see.
After the 3rd question, all the way to the right, it says submit or cancel.
Yeah, my
Screen.
sorry. Yeah, my screen is not showing it, but let me see if I can move the people. I can move the people. There we go. Okay.
You see it? Yep. Hit
Yeah,
submit.
there we go.
And now if you see, whoop, let it, yeah, right. If you scroll down a little bit,
Okay.
you'll see that the apply button is now red. So now you click on the apply button
Okay.
and it's going to ask you one last time. I guess you can click on electronic signature. You can, whatever, type my name in there.
Okay.
And I can't see where the,
Oh, it's
I
right
can't-
down to submit. Okay.
there's submit. Okay. Okay, but it says submit. And then your application will, if you scroll down one more time,
Okay.
it now it appears under scholarships of applied for. So that means you're all set as far as
Great.
your application goes. Now, at the same time, you will also get an email from Scholarship America that says, congratulations, you have successfully completed your scholarship. If you leave this, you log out and you come back in. When you come back in, it will say number of scholarships I have applied for, 1. So a lot of people will ask me, have I applied for my scholarship? Did it go through? And I'll say, just go back onto your profile and it will say number of scholarships I have applied for, 1. If it says that, then it's dollars for scholars because that's the only one that will appear on your screen. The only other thing I really was probably, you know, what you get scored on by the awards committee. So it's 220 points available. 80 of them are for your grade point average. 40 are for test scores. 30 are for activities. 20 points for employment. 20 for essays, and 30 for special circumstances. You also can get extra points. It's like extra credit if you volunteer at Dollars for Scholars events. It usually does not make the difference between getting a scholarship and not getting a scholarship. But what it might do is make a difference between getting a $900 scholarship and a $1,400 scholarship. So there is a factor involved there. And I always tell people it's never too early or too late to volunteer because the points do add up and they do matter. Is March 15th, 8 o'clock at night to 11 p.m. That's the night of that they're due. I will be at the Whitman Police Station. It's going to be called Deadline Day. So if you have a problem, you're more than welcome to bring your electronic device, your laptop or your tablet to the police station, and we'll set up there and you can finish your application in front of me if you haven't completed it. I know a lot of people try to call me at 10 o'clock at night that night, and I said, I know what they're calling about, but it's hard to answer a question when I'm on a phone. I can't see where you are in the process. So I think that was it for me at this point. Thank you.
Great.
Sorry, we have a few questions on this page. I don't know if we want to address them now while we're thinking about it. But someone wrote, do you have to include test scores if you have them?
You do have to, because you're signing saying that the information you give us is truthful. And we also get them, we'll get them on the transfer sheet as well. So we'd like to know them, have you fill them in for us.
And then we have, can you include your activities and sports?
Yes, sports and clubs and organizations. It will, for your activities, it will ask you how many hours did you participate. We don't usually ask, the application does not, or the profile does not ask you how many hours did you participate in a sport, because it realizes sports take an exhaustive amount of time.
And then we have, can you upload the transcript if you have it, or does it have to come from the counselor?
It has to come from the counselor. You'll be sending an email to the counselor. They will give us the official transcript, and that's what we'll use for your grade point average. The reason we have you put your grade point average in yourself is it allows you to do the app. You need a 2.5 grade point average. We need to know before we get before the conclusion of the deadline that you have a 2.5 average. So you putting it in allows you to apply. The counselor putting it in allows us to use it for the scoring purposes.
And then is Dollars for Scholars one scholarship or a combination of scholarships to receive rewards?
It's an umbrella organization, so we probably hand out about 150 to 200 scholarships. So there's this one application and it puts you in front of about 150 scholarships. Yeah.
Okay, and that was it for questions for right now.
Okay.
Great,
I'll be here if anyone has any others.
great. Thanks. Okay, are we back to the slideshow, folks? Can you view the slideshow or not?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So again, just to kind of review, and what's great about Dollars for Scholars, as Mr. Ganchard said, is it's one scholarship for lots of money. And I think we just have to really say thank you to Mr. Ganchard and the folks on the Dollars for Scholars committee in our town who raise money, and they're so generous to our students. So we really appreciate that. Thanks for all you do to make it happen for us. All right, so just like a few other things. Get moving here. All right, so again, I mentioned this when Mr. Ganchard was speaking, but very important for your counselor emails that you put them in as first name dot last name at WHRSD.org. And as many of you know, Mrs. Cunha is out right now. And so I'm going to ask you, instead of Mrs. Cunha's email address, that you put in Miss Bates. So it's stephanie.bates@WHRSD.org. Okay, and if you did it incorrectly, Mr. Ganchard, students can go back in and change that, correct?
Yes.
They can. All right. Yeah. So please, if you didn't put it in right, and you've already started your application, please, double check that for us. Okay. So, so for local and community scholarships, it's a little bit different. So again, with Dollars for Scholars, it's one application. It's due March 15th. It's all online. You're applying for lots of different money. But for local and community, this is where you actually need to go to our school counseling website and actually fill an application for each one of the scholarships that you might be interested in. There's no GPA requirement. And again, each scholarship, you need to fill out an application. Ms. Rivera, do you want to go through that or do you want me to? What do you prefer?
It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for what they need to bring.
Yeah, and so what you're going to basically do is go to the school counseling website. I'm going to see if we can get here from there. Okay. Does everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. We always get these fun messages from the district. Okay. So you can see on this this application, it just became live. Ms. Rivera spends many, many hours working on this. And if anybody got into it, before March 1st, I would say just be careful and check and make sure that, what you have is accurate. But this is it's on the school counseling website, and there are two different kinds of scholarships. It's in-house and community. So Ms. Rivera, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So on this page, as you see, this is our two scholarships. We have in-house scholarships and community scholarships. This page is important just because of all the directions. So this is the in-house scholarship. There is one application for this one. Here are the 11 scholarships for this one. So what you will do is you will read each one, see if you qualify, and then you'll click for the in-house application, which will bring you here. And then you will just check off which one applies to you. It could be all, it could be one, it doesn't matter. Students will fill out this information right here. So there's a little bit of essay questions, and then you'll keep note on these starred questions. Those go up with, if you want to go all the way up to the top. The first star goes with number 10, PCEA scholarship. So if you're a member of that, you would just check that one off. But this is one application. You will bring it to me completed in the school counseling office. And that's it for that one. Pretty simple. And then when we go back to, if you just go back one more. Here
Community.
you'll see all of the community scholarships. So with this one, students are going to make sure that they have a transcript, goal statement, resume, and 2 letters of recommendations. Students will ask their teachers for permission and if they say yes, we are able to print them out for them. And I am able to print out student transcripts. So I am responsible. I can send out 1 transcript to you, and then you are responsible for making other copies. So as you go down this page, all of these scholarships are connected to the links. So if you want to just click on one, Ruth. So number 18, this is the Kristen Finn Memorial Scholarship. It will direct you straight to the application, tells you the amount, and then where you'll mail it to. So this is important. So when you are filling this out, just make sure you're following each of what the scholarship chairperson wants you to do. And then once it's filled out, you will address and mail it to the scholarship person. And all of them have an address. And applications and documents must be sent by April 6, 2023 to the above person. Sometimes it could be myself, so you can bring it to the school counseling office, but most of the time you're mailing it directly to the scholarship person.
And Ms. Rivera, is that a mail by deadline or a postmark deadline?
Postmarked.
Postmarked. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the website here. So again, all of the local and community ones, our school counseling department, we administer them in terms of we talk with the scholarship organizations and we put them on the website, but we don't make any choices on here. All these decisions are made by these organizations. But again, there's no GPA requirement, but you do need to go into the website, look it over, find out which ones are applicable to you, and then download them. So I think you can they're all on Google Docs, so you could make a copy if you want, or you could simply just download it as a PDF and print it out.
Yes, I would recommend making a copy, printing it, and then filling it from there, but do not request edit access.
Yeah, we won't be giving you edit access, so make a copy or print it out. Okay, so a couple of things. Again, you have to complete an application for each scholarship you're seeking, and as with Dollars for Scholars, they don't want you to submit anything with it, no documents. For this, we do need you just to include some documents. So you can get your transcript. It's available in school counseling. This is the same transcript that you got at the beginning of the year in those red folders when the counselors were working with you in English classes. But if you lost it or you don't have it, you can come down to school counseling and Ms. Rivera can get a copy for you. And again, we can give you 1 copy and you're responsible for making any additional copies. You need to include a resume, and we just posted in the school counseling senior Google Classroom some tips on resume writing. And if you need help, make an appointment with your counselor or Mr. Hawks, who is our school counselor intern, and we will help you put together a resume if you need it. You should have a goal statement, which basically is just talking about what your plans are. What do you hope to study if you're going to college? What's your long range goal? And then 2 letters of recommendation, and you can get these from your teachers. And you can get them from them directly, or again, as Ms. Rivera mentioned, if your teachers give us permission, so they actually need to give us the permission, not you the permission, we can print them out for you. But again, most teachers will give you a copy themselves. And then you're going to put all these together. You're going to staple them to the application for each one that you have. And you're going to mail them all to the scholarship committee that's listed on each application. And you want to make sure you get those in the mail by April 6th. And each year, make the effort to apply for these scholarships because our communities are so very generous. Mr. Ganchard, how much did Dollars for Scholars give out last year?
We gave out 156,000 to 139 students.
Oh, my gosh.
So you
that's
can imagine
awesome.
the average is about $1,100. This year, we're hoping to do 160 so that we can.
Wow.
Additionally,
And
we represent the towns of Whitman and Hanson, so we make a concerted effort to try to give each person that applies, that is qualified, a scholarship of some amount, you know what I'm saying, so that everybody at least gets something from us. It doesn't always work if people leave parts of their application blank,
Mhm.
thus bringing down their scores considerably. Those people may or may not get a scholarship, but everybody that has filled out the application in its entirety generally gets a scholarship.
Wow. And Mr. Rivera, do you remember how much local and community was for last year?
I don't remember, but we gave out a good amount last year.
Mm.
Everyone in the community has been very generous every year.
Yeah, I think it was probably, it's usually around $90,000. So it's
Yeah,
actually way more than 200.
it's a good amount.
Yeah. So I would say that that number probably should be up about, $240,000 a year. So again, it's great. Our communities are so generous. So we really encourage you to apply for these. So again, just to kind of recap, if you receive a scholarship, you'll be contacted by mail to attend scholarship night. And then the letters from local and community will come from school counseling office. Mr. Gantry, how does Dollars for Scholars do it?
We do it by mail as well the week before.
Okay. And scholarship night, you'll get an invitation to attend scholarship night. It's on Wednesday, May 31st at 6:30 p.m. There are two parts to it. Typically, Dollars for Scholars does their awards first, and then it's followed by local and community after that. Most of the time, you are not going to get a check that evening. Occasionally you might, but usually the checks are going to be available after you complete your first semester of college. And for local and community scholarships, on the back of the certificate that you get will be information on how you claim your scholarship. If we need the grades, it tells you who you need to send them to by whatever date. And what about for Dollars for Scholars, Mr. Genchert?
It's likewise. It's after the first semester.
After
You'll
first
also
semester.
receive the information on the back of your certificates, and we also email whoever we have accurate and correct email information for. We remind them monthly from November to February to claim their scholarship and what they'll need to do to claim their scholarship.
So that's a really good reason why when you're filling out your application that you don't use your school email address, because you won't have it after you graduate, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
And another thing, if some of our scholarships do come with the check on scholarship night, so you'll find that attached to your certificate.
Okay, so a couple of really important things too is please remember to say thank you. A lot of these scholarship sponsors spend a lot of time fundraising. Many times these scholarships are a memorial of someone, so it's a very personal and very emotional thing for these folks. So they really appreciate it when you send a thank you note, and not just an email, a good old-fashioned note that you actually write with your hands. I know one year we actually had a scholarship that said, I'm not going to do it anymore. None of the people that got the scholarship bothered to say thank you for it. So again, please say thank you. It's important to the folks that are spending all this time, raising this money to memorialize some of the people that in the lives that they've lost. And also, all of the seniors have access to the school counselor Google Classroom, and we post a lot of random scholarships in there that come to our attention. This Rivera, can you think of some of them that have been put in there recently?
So we have the Northeastern Bank scholarship in there, which is a good one. We have the Rockland Trust one. We have there's a bunch. There's a bunch in there.
Yeah.
If anyone needs any help, I'm in the school counseling office too. I'm happy to help anyone who needs help with scholarships whenever they need.
Yeah, so definitely check those random scholarships that come in, because there is money available, and you certainly want to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yes, and it's under the scholarship tab in the classroom. There's a bunch of them there.
So if you have any questions on the local and community scholarships, you can check with Ms. Rivera in the school counseling office. There is her email address and her phone number. And if you have any questions for Dollars for Scholars, Mr. Ganchert's probably the best person to contact. And as I mentioned, we will be sending out tomorrow through email and also posting in the Google Classroom 2 handouts regarding the Dollars for Scholars programs, and we'll also be sending a copy of this PowerPoint as well.
There was some questions in the chat. I don't know if they got answered while you
Okay.
were talking.
So I'll just finish this last slide and then we
Oh,
can
sure, sorry.
go. Oh, no, that's okay. And then we can look at the question. So again, just as a reminder, for the local and community, you must complete an application for each scholarship you're seeking. You're going to include your transcript, resume, goal statement, and 2 letters of recommendation. And you are going to mail them to the address that's on the scholarship application. And you can get those in the mails by April 6th. And for Dollars for Scholars, you're going to make sure that you complete your application by March 15th. So at this point, can either Mr. Murphy or Mr. Rivera take a look at the chat?
Yes, I have it up.
Okay.
So one of the questions is, what is the average amount of scholarships awarded? Can students earn multiple scholarships?
The answer is, I don't know the average, but sometimes students are getting 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 scholarships because they've applied for a lot of them and they're a good candidate.
On the Dollars for Scholars application, I thought you said there were 4 things that weren't required. I only caught 3 of them. References, financial info, and documents. What was the other item?
Those are 4 things that we don't need. Help was the other half that you can ignore.
Help. Okay.
And then, should these recommendations be different than the ones you may have used for college applications?
No, they're fine. The ones you have for college applications are fine.
What if the school to attend has not yet been decided?
For me, we take whatever information that you have, the most current one that you have. When you get your scholarship in May, when you get after awards night, you have 2 weeks to update your information. So that will update and you can change your college at that point in time. We're not a needs-based organization, so how expensive the college is or isn't much of a factor.
And I think on any of our applications for local and community, if that question were asked where you're going to attend, you could certainly just say, I have been accepted to, X, Y, and Z schools. I haven't made my decision yet.
Are the grades for semester 1 not needed on the transcript?
No, they're not on there. The transcripts for Whitman Hanson is all based on final year-end grades. So that is what we have always done, and it is not an issue.
If the student takes a gap year, how will that affect scholarships the following year? Should the student contact the organization directly?
I would say for local and community, absolutely, because they would make the decision on whether that scholarship would still be available to them. And for Dollars for Scholars, I'm not sure, Mr. Gantrit?
You can defer it up to 2 years. You just
Up
have
to-
to notify us during the claim period. So
Okay.
if it's going to be used for the following year and you want to defer to that year, you can, and then the following year as well.
Perfect.
That's all I have for questions.
Okay. If there are any other questions, feel free to add them to the chat right now. We'll stay on for another couple minutes.
Can I say that my email will be on that one of those handouts that you're actually sending out to the people. So if they do want to contact me, they can find my email there.
Okay. Yeah, and we will get those out to you tomorrow, the 2 handouts for Dollars for Scholars and a copy of this PowerPoint.
While we're waiting, can I mention that A Taste of Whitman Hanson is March 9th? Anybody would like to attend, that will help fill our scholarship coffers.
And where is that going to be held, Mr. Gantrit?
It's thank you for asking. It's at the Whitman VFW. Tickets are only $15 and you get to sample food from 19 different restaurants.
Sounds great. So, all right. Any other questions show up in the chat?
Nope, just a thank you.
All right. All right,
Thank you,
everybody.
Linus.
Yep. Thank you so much for attending tonight. We will get this recording out as soon as we can. It usually takes a couple days. But if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to school counselors, Ms. Rivera or Mr. Gantrit, and we will be happy to help you. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.